Check it out. Doing something a little different today on the channel, kind of where we started off with these mini builds. Our buddy bought this one, which is kind of a mini sport quad compared to the mini quads we usually build. As you can tell, the first thing is how wide the front end of this is. These A-arms are about 8 to 10 inches and these are about 4. So the wider the better. I mean, you've seen us take corners and just roll these things over, so better center of gravity. It's going to be great. The rear end's wider, the tires are fatter all the way around. It has Nerf bars, which we're going to have to figure out something about. It has a plastic tank, so we know there's no rust in it. And the cool thing is, I'm 6'6", so that's why we have to put these bicycle bars on all of them so that it clears our knees. But check this one out. I can sit on this and ride it with the stock bars. So we should be able to keep all this together. He dropped it off because I told him I really wanted to build this one for the channel because I've been looking kind of for one of these smaller sport quad looking ones. So he dropped it off with a 212 and a motor mount. So we're gonna have to gather all the stuff from our parts pile and put this one together. So I think we're gonna have to source a throttle because he's keeping the butterfly carb for now. So this one isn't gonna work unless we have a spare slide carb laying around, which I'm not sure. We'll just probably put a twist throttle on it for now. And then we're gonna have to source a torque converter, fuel line, chain, and some steel to weld up the motor mount, kick it up like we usually do. And we'll take you guys with us on this one kind of in depth. There's a lot of questions been had, and then maybe at the end we'll get all of them out, do a little ripping around. It's been a couple years since we've had busted these mini quads out. This is the Ghost motor one that's on the channel. It's probably been written the least because we cannot get this thing to run right. We've been through different carburetors, every jet size in the world, different fuel pumps, all sorts of stuff. And as you can see, the hour meter just says 2.5 hours. So we haven't got to ride this one much. So we're going to try to figure out what's wrong with this one finally today. I got some new fuel line and some other stuff for it. The one I just built last on the channel, we're going to get it out too. My buddy, actually two different of my buddies, wrecked it into the pond around the circle track. I'll put that clip in right now. And so we're going to get that one out. And I think we have one more. So we might have 4 or 5 of these by the end of the video. But our main goal today is to get this one running and riding. So the first step we're going to do is get all the plastics off so we can kind of see everything. Then after we get the plastics and gas tank off, usually the next step is we cut the factory motor mounts off back here, and then we'll start putting our cross sections in here to put our plate in. So we'll get you on time lapse and get these plastics off. Where? Alright, so now, since we're using the gas tank off the quad, we're going to take this gas tank off. It makes way more room. We're also going to make a custom exhaust like we did on all of them, so we're going to take the exhaust off. And the air cleaner, I think I have an air cleaner adapter. I do. So we're going to take the air cleaner off too.
So exhaust, gas tank, and air cleaner.
So we need to take all 3 of those off.
Okay. Got the impact 10.
That's got this thing in there, I think.
And the choke. Yep. There we go. So I think we can reuse these studs and put that air cleaner adapter on there. Keep that. There we go. Pull this fuel line off. I got new fuel line. We always have to loosen that up because it's supposed to idle like a generator. So we have to loosen this bolt up, remember? Mm-hmm. It's been a while since we built one of these. It's been like, what, 2 years?
Just a hair.
Let's do that now before we forget.
So you just loosen that a little bit so your return spring works. There you go. Now we need to find a torque converter. Is yours still up there, you think? Are you tall enough? G-body. G-body.
I believe it should be in the old Rock Auto box up here.
Uh-oh, header gasket.
Nails, header gaskets.
Hopefully there's a chain in here.
We're gonna hope and pray and hope.
There isn't.
One might still be on my mini quad, maybe.
Maybe. Or it might be in the drawer.
Yeah, it could be in the chain drawer. I think you might be right.
So, yeah, so this goes on next.
Make sure everything's in there.
I got a bunch of parts working on it.
And I got 4 mounting bolts.
All right, so, and then all these different bolts, you can see where Cyrus had it already mounted. These 4, go right to these 4.
Put everything on, bolt it in.
So this heat shield gets in the way of the torque converter, so you have to take this off.
See if it comes
We've
off.
never had a problem with overheating or anything.
We're gonna cut this bracket off because you can't get into there with
It doesn't have to look
motor
pretty.
won't fit without it.
Yeah, it's
Motor
a
won't
factory
fit
motor
with
mount.
it.
Crazy, some of this Chinesium is so heavy you can't do anything with it. Some of it's... Oh, the bolt fell out. I was like, what just happened?
I was like, did that hold it?
Okay, we're
Made the last cut, removed that thing, and dropped it, and it goes clunk.
gonna remind ourselves to put a nut on that, I guess.
Yeah, that's right, we'll go back.
Cody!
What's up?
Howdy!
Howdy, howdy.
Alright, putting the motor mount on, you want to favor it to the clutch side. See this space here versus this space, and then the longer end needs to go on the back.
And you want to make sure it's slid all the way up, so if you have to slide the engine forward to get any adjustment for your chain.
Wow. I'm not gonna be able to kick that one up much, huh?
I think it's just because it's stuck.
Or like the rear is already touching the... So our valve cover is just getting away. Something's already been cut off of there.
I mean, cut off wheel.
Okay, just don't cut into the frame.
Cut off wheel it is.
Alright, so we're going out to the mini... I don't even know if anybody's on YouTube has seen the mini boneyard yet. So, for YouTube purposes, this is how many we've collected. So we're after... Oh, there should be a motor with that air cleaner adapter on it, Cyrus. Not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one. Wait. Yep, there's one right there.
Yeah.
We have these Predators and mini quad motors. Actually, I'm going to show them the, if I can get through here, the pile of how many mini quads we've built. Ugh, there's a frame right there. That this whole go-kart dealy thing is just completely full of mini quad motors. There's the OG mini quad. I don't even know if this one was ever on the channel. We built this before we started the channel.
That's what I said.
I think that's the one off of my yellow cart from back in the day that you exploded. There should be a giant hole in the side of the block of that one. Cyrus came back. I owe you $100. I said, why? He said, I blew up your go-kart. I was like, no. We opened it up. He just took a push rod off of the rocker arm, fixed it, and he comes back again about 20 minutes later. I'm mowing the yard. I really owe you $100 this time. He had oil all over his face. Yeah, I did. I forgot all about that thing. I forgot about most of these things. Oh no! Were them birds just trying to shit in my gas tank? Because they got pretty good aim.
This is the only one that's open, the only one that's shit in it.
Oh, look!
That's the only tank.
Look! That line up?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, that stud's gonna be barely grabbing, but it's enough.
Where's the gasket?
Oh, it's right here, so maybe it won't be enough. Here, I'll toss you this filter and see if it's the right, even the right adapter. Does that fit on there?
Like a glove.
All right, cool. All right, test fitting the motor again.
It should just slide right in. Take a love.
I think right there is where it needs to sit.
Okay, and that's
if I do-
flat. So we got the plate sitting on here. Have to kick the back up a little bit with Cyrus's foot. Then we'll put the chain in there.
It's really hurtful.
There you go. Twist that forward.
I'm trying to get him the chain so we can feed it back to the other side so we can see how it lines up with the sprocket.
All right, there you go. Spinner, give her a spin dingo.
Give her a spin dingo.
It's pretty close.
Feed it through.
Cyrus, you just rolled the... No, that's inboard. Out to the... Right, oh, and back more. Like right there is where it needs to be. Is that going to clear shit? Except for the bottom of the frame, we just need to kick the rear up a little more.
Yeah, just kick the rear up a little
Just enough to clear the frame with that pulley. Like that's enough right there.
Yeah. Keep it level. But
We're gonna need the rear plate somewhere in right here to weld the back of that. Then the front one, it's gonna be all the way to the front. Okay. Let's cut these plates and put them in, weld them, burn them in. Then we can set our spacers on the plate and actually put it where we need it. All right, so the back of the motor plate's sitting about right here, so we're gonna go with
9 inches.
9 inches so I can burn it on each side, and we'll just flapper wheel the top of this flat spot. So our first strap's gonna be 9 inches. That'll work. So the back strap's gonna land right between here and here. So we're gonna flapper wheel that, get some nice clean metal to weld to on each side.
All the way down to that pure Chinese.
I just do that whole thing in 2 plates.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to weld the front to something.
All right, we got our strapulator laid across where we put our lines. We're gonna burn it in. You know, we would never square it because I will pay you to try to find a square piece on this frame.
We'll edit this part out.
Is it dead? That's the on right there. It's dead.
Just really dead.
That's all we needed for the gram.
Yep. Looks square to me, dog.
Alright, we got the front one cut out. A little bit of angularity. Gonna try to center that. That looks pretty good. I think we learned it goes in easy from the other side. There we go. There we go. So yeah, that motor mount, yeah, it does go clear to the front. It needs to go.
This one actually does it
right.
need to go back a little bit, or is it?
Just need to lift it up some.
That's about. Well, this fucking spark plug.
Yeah,
A
that's gonna
2-inch
be,
raise in the back would be all right, but
Here, take.
well,
Let's take
the
this.
least we can go, the better, because that pulley needs to go beside that peg.
you gotta get it
Cody.
squared on there and then
Yeah,
try to
there.
line it up with your eyes back here with the pulley, though, Keith. You gotta make sure that's square too.
Well, we need a chain on it, but I'm saying that last time we did it, this side of the pulley was on that side of the peg.
Is that sitting
Oh,
on
so
that?
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
good.
right there. So that leaves us more room for the spark plug.
That's gonna have to be like right there because that plate's right there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're gonna overdo that plate, and there's no way we're
Okay.
gonna be able to get to anything.
That's
Plus,
fine. So we need to put the chain on. Just set it there right now.
I don't
Just
think you
set
can
it.
get to the motor mount bolts that
So
way.
we'll have to leave it, but we'll have very
slide it back.
little play with our clutch. Right
It's
there.
gonna have to come back because I don't think you're gonna be able to get the motor mounts out of the front if we use that thick of a plate.
You're right.
Can
That's
we,
we
can
notch.
we raise it up like this? Maybe raise the front up a little more? Or, no.
You're right. The motor mount bolts are right.
Well,
in
we
the
have that
front.
plasma cutter, so we can just notch it real fast.
So our front strap was a little too deep. It was putting the motor mount bolts right here and here, so we couldn't get to them, and we couldn't slide the motor forward. So we're gonna cut it at this line, because all we need is just a little bit to weld to up here, just a little bit of a cross member. So it was already tacked down. If you don't have a plasma cutter, you could have just cut the spot welds off and cut it with a grinder, but we're gonna try the plasma cutter. That's kind of a bend.
That's right.
Okay, we need
That
to
is not
notch.
centered.
We're gonna either notch the
this-
peg out, or
This
maybe
is
put a
centered
spacer
straight
in
down.
here.
Keeper, this is centered straight down right now in between.
Oh,
this
Cody.
You just put a
Great
spacer
idea.
right there.
All we need is like 3 washers on front and side of that Nerf. Dude,
Yeah.
that's what we need.
Some knowledge, dude.
Leave the motor right there. Just set it down. Cody,
I don't want to move
I was
it.
going to notch this peg,
Do
but
we have
Cody
anything to
said,
stand underneath of it to hold
just
it
hold it right there.
here?
No, just hold
no,
put spacers
we just
in
need
here.
to undo these bolts and put some
See that?
washers in between here, and that's all we need.
See that
It-
chain?
we really need like a
You
3/16.
see that chain?
So we're gonna space the Nerf bars out a little bit. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. All right, we need a little more room for the clutch, so we put some spacers between the Nerf bars and the frame. I think that might just give us exactly what we need. So let's try to line her up again. Right there is where we need to be. Hold on. Exactly right there is where we need to be. So how much room do we have there? We only needed about half of
hold
them
up.
washers, but
We are barely on this plate now.
huh?
We need to slide the engine forward.
That's fine. Do whatever you need to do.
Okay, let me get it about right there.
Chain looks good.
Need 1.25 inches on this side.
No, it has to be all the way.
I can't see.
Inch and a quarter? All right, that's what we're going with. That one right there.
Cody got that thingy?
I do.
Tappy.
That's probably an inch. Inch and an eighth. And a little bit more.
Maybe. Oh, yeah.
A piece of square stock would be ideal. All right, looks like we got it where we want it. At the end, we ended up needing an inch and a quarter, but an inch and an eighth would work. So we stacked another piece of 1/4 inch steel on top of our 1/4 inch strap. Then we're going with the 7/8 square tubing we found in the steel bin. So that puts us inch and an eighth.
We're gonna weld everything solid now, right?
I think so, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah.
Yeah.
See, we're turning the
Sounds
welder,
gonna burn everything in.
turn the welder on. Oh.
So I was gonna burn all that in. He cleaned that up and kicked it up in the bag, and we're gonna put it back in.
Not too.
All right, so we got our 2 1/4 inch straps to make a 1/2 inch. Then we got our 7/8 inch piece of square tubing here. That gives us an inch and an eighth. We were looking for somewhere around an inch and an eighth, inch and a quarter to kick the rear end of the motor plate up. So we're gonna set it back in there, and we're gonna line the chain back up. So now we should be able to set the motor mount in there and tack it where it needs to be, and then pull the motor off and full weld it. Like we said, you always want to kick the rear end up just because of that clutch sprocket's here, and you have to have it clear the swing arm.
Longer. Alright. Now do it on the other side.
Just make the tacks better, then we'll start putting the whole thing back together. We're also going to have to put a 90 on the plug wire because that is, oh my god.
I don't know if we're gonna, that's why we have to slide it forward, hopefully.
Yeah. Okay.
So should we not put the master length?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, put a bar in here, slid the whole thing forward after we got everything test mocked. Seems like may have a little rubbage, but everything's centered up so far. Everything seems to be working all right. We're gonna test fit everything, see if we can't run on it. I'll roll it a couple times. Looks like everything's just working great.
Not bad. Let me tighten the motor down right there. So we finished putting the clutch together, put the handlebars on, the plastics, the seats. What's next?
Probably better walk out to the mini bike, grab my exhaust off of it.
Yep, that'd be 13 also, right?
Should be.
Yeah, that's next. Exhaust.
This thing does a whopping 40-something miles per hour. It's faster than most delivery people on the mopeds. You could take this on the 2-lane.
This is a stock pipe that goes on the mini quad with the original motor. So we mounted like this under the motor. So we're just gonna wrap it, sit on the side of the motor and just have a big header. So I'm gonna wrap it up real quick with exhaust wrap. Getting the header put on. Sticks out a little bit wide, but that's what we had. Short notice. Alright, well, we got the spark plug wire on. We got the gas line ran. Cyrus has the header on. Excuse me, Alfredo. I think after we tighten this gas tank down, we're going to
I'm gonna need a match.
put a little bit of fuel in it to start it after we put a little bit of gas in it and hit it with the throttle right here, like see if it'll turn the back tires, and if it turns the back tires, we're going to put the rest of it together. It might need a jet. Goes, Waba!
We should probably check to see if it's got oil in it.
Yeah, for sure, but she runs, and it didn't throw the chain, and that was wide open with no governor. So should we just fucking throw it together?
Might as well a little bit, right?
Well,
Should we have to put front plastics?
oh yeah, do we have to cut any of that out of the way? Dude,
zip
look
tie
how
it?
close that is. That's perfect.
Grab the screws. They're in that thingy. Screws.
Hell yeah, dude. There you go. You got that. There you got the inner. NBA. Grind it till she fits. Perfect. Tighten that. What is that? Phillips. Do this all weekend. I'll get 3 or 4 of them going.
Yeah, we have a little ice break.
Exactly.
Bump it ain't going fast enough just to bump.
Right. We can get it going good.